Hi, welcome. I'm just here. I'm your host, Reese Baker, and today we're back with Women's Creatives, another episode for you guys. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right. Echoes in the back. So I'm here with beautiful guests, Jenna and Maisha. Just introduce yourselves to the people. So they were kind enough to do this, and we're just gonna dive right in. So my first question for you guys is, what does being a woman creative mean to you, in your own words?
Well, first I want to start off by saying, hey y'all, I'm Jenna Bernard. I'm a student at the Southern University, majoring in mass communication and public relations. And for me, I feel like I call myself a creative, or just like some sort of human that does a lot of shit. I model, I write, I act, and I also read tarot and oracle for people and give spiritual advice. I feel like being a creative for me is opening the discussion of what you're creating and who you are, and also the community around you. I feel like that makes you creative because you have to start a dialogue or start a discussion or just be your authentic self in all the modes, because in life they always tell you that you have to be one thing or do two things for the rest of your life, but like you could do a lot of things for the rest of your life. It doesn't have to be in a box.
Okay. Hey, y'all. I'm Maisha. I am a nursing major here at the Southern University, A&M College. And to me, being a woman creative is just finding different ways to tell your story, because life is hard. And so just finding new ways to express yourself or be able to talk about issues that, it might be a little difficult for people to talk about. Yeah.
I think what being a woman creative means to me is having a platform, but also using it for more than yourself. Because I feel like oftentimes as creatives, we forget that we're being watched as well. And that, first impressions are everything. So I think that's a thing to consider when you are creating things, like making sure you're creating the right things and that you're okay with what you're creating.
Agreed.
So I think that's kind of like what it means to me. And that's what I kind of try to do in everything when I create stuff. So, shifting gears, what is the biggest misconception about Black women in the entertainment field, in y'all's opinion? I know that's like a broad thing, but
So the biggest misconceptions about Black women in entertainment field?
Yeah.
Misconception. Do you have anything, Maisha? Are you still thinking?
I think Black women are very misunderstood in media and entertainment, just in general. I think a lot of times when Black women are put as the main character, or if they're telling their story, it's just, oh, I'm strong, I'm independent, and that's it. And there's a lot of times where there's more to a Black woman. There's more to her. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is that a lot of Black women are misunderstood. And they feel like they have to be put into a box when they don't have to be.
I think this question could be subjective to some people because I guess there's I wouldn't say misconceptions, but maybe more work that has to be done. Like there's a lot of Black women, like correct me if I'm wrong, I think Viola Davis just got one. I think she got won an Oscar or Emmy like a year or so ago. Like don't clock me, but like it's just like she's been in the game for so long, and I think Black women either have to take roles that could either be not demeaning, but I feel like maybe the roles that they have for Black women are just starting to become more not the angry Black mother, or like strung out on drugs, poverty stricken somebody. I'd be like, damn, why is she crying? Like,
Yeah.
so I think it's good that they're actually showing Black women in a better light, or then that they're opening more roles, opportunities for Black women to be more than a misconception, more than to be misunderstood, that they actually are individual humans and they don't speak for the struggle and plight of Black women, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I like presenting us as something and only one thing, and not multifaceted people. Like we always have to experience the emotion of sadness.
It's always sad.
It's always sad. It's never happy. It's
I
never.
didn't even see Precious, like, goddamn.
Yeah.
He ate that role, and she did win an award for that role.
Right.
That's all I had to say. You know, even though we are in these roles and they put us in these boxes, I feel like we still seem to defy it. Like, all the women, whatchamacallit, Spencer, Octavia Spencer, Viola Davis up in there, and then another lady in The Help that won an award. I feel like that also just showed, like, good acting, but also they were just really good women to show what they was going through that time, even when some of them probably weren't even born in that time. I think majority of them were, Viola and Octavia. They definitely was.
I also think that a lot of Black women are labeled as extra or like bitch. I don't know if I can. Like they be like, oh yeah, she's a bitch. She's extra. Da 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 da. And I'm thinking about like Beyonce. Like I watched the Renaissance movie and stuff. And there's a lot of times where she was the director, and a lot of people did not take her seriously. And like to us, like that's Beyonce, like that's the entertainer of the world right now. But people still don't take her seriously and stuff. So just there's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of misunderstandings about stuff like that.
No, you were eating though. You were eating about the about not taking Black women seriously. They really don't. That's why I feel like the roles back then were so limited, because they couldn't take it seriously.
Yeah. Also, what is the biggest lesson you have learned as a creative?
Ooh, not to compare yourself to other people.
Period.
Cause bro, like sometimes I won't create for like a while, or I won't do anything for a while, because I'd be like, well, such and such is doing it better and she's getting more traction. So now I had to like change my whole brand. I changed my like gimmick, quote unquote, to speak. But like, it really, like, I feel like whenever you compare yourself to another person, it just really completes. It could just taints everything. Like, your work is not your work anymore. And it just become like a watered down version of yourself, and I hate being watered down. So I would say like, I would definitely say comparing yourself for sure, and for me personally, like not beating myself up, because I grew up as like a high overachiever. Like I was valedictorian. Like I feel like I just always start from here and then work my way down, but like, or I try to get higher and higher, but just to keep creating, and like just keep creating from a heart space and not from simply just the mind, because I feel you can get farther when it's your heart plus discipline plus creativity. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
I think the biggest lesson that I've learned is that there aren't any rules to creativity. Like there's so many different ways to express yourself, and even like in unconventional ways, like even with lighting and sound and everything, when it comes to like a production of any kind, like whether it's musical or a play or something, it's just like that's also art. That's also a way to be creative. And like there's so many different aspects to creativity that like there's so many things that you could do. So yeah,
I think the biggest lesson that I've learned so far is that you have to adapt to create. So it's like like
yeah, y'all ate. Yeah.
You have to adapt to create. So like, you know, for example, like I'm in college, I have this podcast. I also like reach out to different people to do said podcast. Not everything is gonna go the way you expect it to go. So it's just like adapting to the situations that are before you, and also like taking time to like be in the moment of said situation and not like react. Cause like it's like not like just because something doesn't go as planned doesn't mean it's not gonna happen. Right. And I think it's like I'm such a schedule person. So like when a schedule doesn't happen, I'm like, damn.
What's your sign again?
I'm a Sagittarius. So I'm such a schedule person. So I'm like, damn, okay, all right.
You're freaking out.
Okay, I can work with this. I can work with it still. But I'm freaking out. I'm like, okay. But it's like, also, my faces show how I am. So you can see, like, if I'm like, okay, like I'm kind of over this.
You do wear it on your face.
I wear it on my face. I'm trying to do better about that. But sometimes it's like, I can't hide it. Like, okay, like, I'm not going to present that to, like, the person. But, like, I do wear my emotions on my face. So I'm like, it's not purposeful, but it's like, you kind of have to, like, okay, didn't happen, but it's okay, you know? Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's not purposeful. It's just like, that's my face sometimes. Like, I can't help it. But adapt to create, I think, is the biggest lesson I've learned.
That really is the word, because, like, for instance, if you look at any kind of big artist back in the day, like, I thought about, or you can even say, like, adapting, because, like, when you think about people who make comics, I think before, well, it's a bad example, but it's the only example I got right now. But it was like Walt Disney. Before he became Walt Disney, he was a comic writer. And of course, his writings and his comics were anti-Japanese, I believe, or anti-Semitic, but just like adapting to that. And because adapting to the time and where he was at to make those type of things, it probably is a bad example, but I feel like if you read between the lines, you get it. Like, yeah. And so, like, because of that, it enabled him to become Walt Disney, because he was able to adapt to that and use what was around him.
Mm-hmm. I like that too, because it kind of shows, like, you have to start from somewhere. You don't know where you're about to end up, but you have to start, like, we have this idea, go with it, do what you can with it, and then you don't know what doors that's going to end up opening up for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Definitely.
Minus the anti-Semitic.
Yeah. Before that, like,
yeah,
don't clock me. But like, yeah, that was a good example. It was a good example of a bad example.
Yeah.
Also, what have you learned about yourself through the journey of like creation or creating, I guess?
I'm an emotional bitch, is what I'm doing. To be so completely honest. Like, I think for the longest, I was like, oh, I'm not sensitive, but I was really just running from my emotions and stuff.
Wow.
And as I started to, like, write, as I started to create and stuff, I noticed that using that as my outlet to let myself feel my emotions and stuff, I think that's the biggest thing.
Jenny, you want to go, or?
I'm still thinking.
Okay, I can go. I guess one thing I learned about myself is that I don't know. Like, I'm a very humble person, but I also have to remember, like, that you have to market yourself. But also in that, I don't like to introduce myself first when I say I have a podcast. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the last thing you'll know about me. Right. When you start to talk to me more, because I'm more about, like, relationship and building said relationship, and then telling you about what I like doing, you know?
I do get that. But sometimes, like, I feel like you can differentiate between, like, you want to create a connection with somebody, or somebody you could just market yourself to. But not market yourself, just talk about yourself. Yeah. I feel like you're trying to make so much into branding and marketing and making everything so, like, I feel like it works for somebody. I guess it works for someone's brand. But I feel like if you're creating something that's that's humanity-based, it should be humane and more personal.
I agree. I feel like, I don't know, like, I just got to do better about just, like, differentiating, like what you're saying, like, differentiating the two things, like, what's meant for me, and what's not, you know, and what spaces to go to and what. Because you can't say yes to everything also.
You can't. But you should say yes more often, because you never know where that's going to take you.
Yeah. See, Jenna's just dropping gems, and she's saying it so quiet.
Like, you have to just go. I'm learning that. That's what I'm saying. I'm learning so much at once. It feels like I'm being sucked in, like, a vacuum. A vacuum, and, like, just, like, not a vacuum, but a vacuum in, like, space, where it's just that one little small space. And, like, you go and you pass in, like, this small space, and you're time traveling. That's how it feels like I'm going through right now. And so I think one thing I could probably say that I'm learning is that everything is not one size fit all. Like, just because you make a routine does not mean that routine will last you Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like, sometimes Tuesday you don't have energy that you have. That's why you gotta have routines and things that for how you're feeling. So I have a low energetic routine. I have a high energetic routine.
Isaiah just walked in.
He does.
And he does. Say hi to them.
Hi, podcast.
This is actually the creative, like right here. But it's Women's History Month, so we have to get him on the back burner. Like,
Yes, these black women are amazing. These black women do their work. They come on time. They're really those girls. So I gotta replace y'all.
Read for the mission.
oh, girl, I forgot about that presentation. Anyway, because we're in the same class. But I think I've been learning that we have different routines. That some days I might feel like low vibe, and I feel like I do what I can, and I just relax that day because that's obviously my body trying to tell me something. Or if I'm high vibes, and I try to do as much as possible as I can. And like in the medium, I just, do what I can till my energy goes to like, okay, you need to go back for yourself.
Yeah. So how are you looking like to expand your horizons on your creative journey? That's a good question. See, I did my homework.
Spicy.
Spicy.
Make me think. Okay.
I think me personally, because I'm crossing my fingers to graduate soon, so I just want to give into like I have a lot of things that I like to do from PR. So of course, I want to use my degree, child. I ain't go through all this goddamn school for no reason. So I'm doing to use that degree, but I also want to do more modeling because I love modeling. I have a lot of photographer friends who know people, so I feel like I want to do more of that as well as just continue growing my spiritual business. And I feel like with that, I'm also have to lock down and read more because the knowledge is in the books.
Yeah.
The knowledge is in the books, so you just gotta read more.
You gotta read more. What about you?
So with me being a nursing major, I always thought like creativity was just out the way. Like I eventually want to open like my own like free children's clinic. So, but
Michelle Obama.
I just wanted to like have like a fun area for like the kids that are going through stuff. Like I thought that was going to be my version of creativity. But I actually was inspired by Reese. Not gonna lie.
I did not know this.
Yes, but I realized like there's so much that I have to say, and I thought like I just would never be able to say it, and I can. So like even with you being in school, and like you still have your podcast, and you're still helping out with Thespian Society and everything, I'm like, girl, I could do that too. Like I was thinking about like it could be like YouTube videos of like me just like expressing myself, talking, or like different projects that I could do, or I could be a part of a community theater. I could like direct. So I love directing, so stuff like that. Like, so yeah, I was inspired by Reese.
Super women, period.
I know, love her.
That's good too because sometimes you really do you be inspired by people that's around you. You never know.
Yeah.
That's why you all gotta keep going because I'll be like, oh, this is like, man, I'm that shit lame. Like, oh, this other bitch doing better than me, and somebody will be like, I really like such and such. I really like you do such and such. Like, I think yesterday that man was just like telling me how he loves my spirit, and I feel like you never know those things that people.
He does.
Yeah. And he was I think he was just like, he's like 90% pure because if it's 100%, he was Arabic. I love you, Adam. Like, and he was like, if it was 100%, then he would be a god. And I was like, yeah, I'm not God yet. Like I'm an eagle.
Like you're an eagle.
I'm an eagle.
You're an eagle soaring.
No passengers on my plane.
I don't want copyright infringement.
Right, please, Beyonce. Beyonce, give us an internship. Don't try to copyright us. Come on now. Didn't you put something in your documentary? Don't clock it.
Clock it. Expanding my horizons by what? I think like take my podcast to another level. That's my biggest inspiration because like I don't want to sound like one of them people, but I'm a very like busy person. So finding time to do stuff that it matters to me, I think I gotta recenter that. And book busy. And so yeah, so finding time to put my podcast on another level, marketing it well, bringing different guests on that just are inspiring to me. Like that's the main thing. Like every guest that I've had literally inspires me in some type of capacity and way, and I know them and I'm familiar with them, and like because like my podcast is like my child, so it's like bringing my child to other people
exactly
in the right hands. Like always been like something I like. If I do something with somebody, I want to make sure that they also like are like just as going hard as me, you know. that's why I try to like really make it so that way it's like my baby, and you know, putting my baby on another pedestal now.
It really is like having a child. Like just watching it like grow up and see like what it's gonna become and everything.
Yeah.
I will also say for other people, like, it's okay to have to treat your creative endeavor like it's a child, but make sure that the child also has to grow up, so you can't keep it sheltered from other people. From too long. You have to take the child outside to the park and mingle with other parks and other children.
And since it's like a child, that means it's going to grow up gradually. It's not just going to blow up automatically. So if you have like a little writer's block, if you feel like it's like not getting the reaction that you wanted, like it's going to take time.
I think that's what I'm kind of like learning, is that like, I'm so sorry, y'all. They're doing this construction in the theater, and we're actually in the theater right now. Shout out to theater, shout out to Lesbian Society.
Shout out Frank.
So I'm not gonna cut this out because like this is gross.
This is what theater sounds like.
That's what the theater sounds like. Yeah. So
Frank Hayden.
Shout out Frank Hayden. You're the GOAT.
You're the GOAT.
You're the GOAT. I was gonna ask. So my last question is, what's next for your creative journey?
Damn, I think I answered that. I think I answered that with the...
You said modeling?
Yeah.
Oh,
Modeling.
you did.
I want to bottle some more, read more, get back on my spiritual teens. I don't know, I'm kind of just open for what God has planned. Like, but I try not to get too bogged down in what I have, because I realize you try to do everything by yourself, you're going to always have the most headache. But if you ask a higher source, other people around you, it's going to get done in a smoother fashion because you need people. So, I don't know, like, I'm just keeping myself open, still remaining an open channel for creativity and just allowing what to come and flow.
Open channel for creativity. Love that.
That's a quote. Put it on a t-shirt.
You're right.
I will pay. I want 15. Actually, no, I want 75%. At least 85. Actually.
Maisha, what about you?
I honestly don't know, because I've had really like intense writer's block.
Sneezing, boy. It is dusty, baby. I did sneeze when I walked by. I said, God, dusty as hell.
That's why we have Sunday.
I hope y'all are laughing with us too.
I know, right?
Jesus.
But yeah, like I don't know exactly. I think that's kind of like the exciting part. It's like I want to get back to like getting to know myself. What story do I want to tell? Like what like inspires me, and then whatever happens from that. But right now, I think I'm just like really busy with school and life, and yeah. So I gotta get back to that.
For real. Don't let your 9 to 5 stop you from your creativity,
Yeah,
child.
period.
Facts.
My friend, shout out to Dennis. Dennis be working at the plant, but he always come home and edit his videos and still make time to go and shoot videos too. Like, that's something. I feel like when you're in love with what you do, and even if you don't be in love at first because you're anxious, still keep going, because I feel like you're gonna get past those nerves and get past what other people are talking about, and you're gonna just do it because, girl, we only got one life. Like, everybody got 24. Oh, I can't. Like my dad told me to stop saying that. We all have some hours in the day to put in what we got to do. Some type of hour, some type of minute. Even if you don't got a minute, wait till tomorrow.
And be kind to yourself. Like Rome wasn't. What did they say? Rome wasn't built in a day.
That's what they say, child.
But no, I guess I agree with Maisha. Like, I don't really know yet, but I'm excited for it. I think that's the best way to describe it. I just continue doing my podcast, any other like creative thing that I think works for me at this very moment.
For sure.
But also giving myself grace.
Yes.
Because, I don't feel like writing all the time. And that's okay.
So dumb.
It's midterms week.
Yeah.
So dumb. Sometimes I'll be like, girl. And also, I would say a good trick or recommendation is like, if you do like any kind of online thing, online presence or whatever, try to make like content that you like, just try to make content that you may or may not post like on the days that you want to post, but you don't feel like getting dressed up and dolled up. You already have that in the back burner. And that's what I do. Cause I'd be like, okay, I got that thing, on the porch back there, like defrosting. Let me just put her out on the grill.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for coming to the podcast. Remember, guys, stay blessed, no stress, and always be here. Thanks, babes. Any last remarks?
Period. Thanks, Breeze. It's so honored to be here with other cool women.
Yes.
I'm genuinely a fan of your podcast too. I will be watching this.
I will listen to this in the bathroom.
Yeah. But no, thank you guys. And yeah, stay blessed, y'all.